Good to hear. Let's hope your execution matches your enthusiasm. I've got a job for you if you're looking to keep busy. Here are the details.
Happy Lunar New I can't even pronounce the word right. Happy Lunar New Year. Yeah, I say that 5 times fast. Yeah, welcome to another episode of Soul Talk, where we talk to citizens and members of the community. Great opening, right? Today is January 26th, 2023. We are live on Twitch, YouTube, and maybe Facebook. I should take to that one day. Yeah, so someone go on Facebook and see if we're live. Anyway, how's everybody doing today? It's another Thursday. We made it to another week. This is the fourth week of the new year. Well, depending on what calendar you go by, I guess. But if you want to join us to have a conversation with us, this is an open, not a really open platform, but you're invited to come in, click the Discord link down below, and come on in. So let me talk about what my week has been like this so far. Oh yeah. I want to say welcome to Sub VGO, or Geo Get Money, to the Soul Team. He was on our show this past Sunday, discussing Naysayers. So welcome to Geo. Good to have him. The new hair clippers I got last week, they're still working. I'm still trying to get used to them. I haven't used my old clippers for 12 years, so you know how that can be. Or some of y'all may know how that can be. I started The Last of Us this week. It's a great series. I never played the game, but I watched the cutscenes like a movie several years ago. So it's great seeing the differences between the cutscenes and the actual TV show. And it's great to see some of the scenes come to life. I can see some scenes like, oh yeah, I remember that from the video game. So that's pretty cool. I said last week that a new anime season has started. I didn't have a favorite back then, but I discovered that both Fury, I don't want to get hurt, so I maxed out my defense, has started. I love season 1, so I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of hijinks they get into this season. So that's both Fury on anime. Finally, I think my time with Marvel Future Revolutions had run its course. I played for daily for 9 months. I'm still playing Memento Mori and Nikki though, so. Oh yeah. And I had my Place of Rhythm show last Friday. So you can check that out on Twitter, on the People Radio Twitter account. Alright. I'm gonna do my thing and then drag 2 people down. I see a couple of people there. Hopefully we get some more. Yeah, click the Discord link down below and join it. Alright, so here we go. Boots. Cats. Boots. Cat. Boots. Cat. Boots. Cat. Boots. I can't even get to it. I'm gonna let that go. Let me drag people down and get the show started. Hey, Pops and Face to Face, how are you doing?
All right. How are you?
Am I? It was either Boots and Cats or doing the Dr. Seuss rap or maybe Mbop. Yeah, I think I picked the right choice. No one wants to hear me sing Mbop.
And we take a vote on this segment being nixed from the show.
Sometimes I do some good ones. Last week I did Martin Luther King. Okay, so hey.
That one was okay. Yes, that one. Okay. Well, let me clarify. I don't want to take up too much of your time here and in the show, but let's clarify this. Let's talk about the ones that are just utterly bad. Yeah.
You mean like 99% of them, except for last week?
Pretty much, yeah.
Your opinion has been noted. I'll submit it to Griffin. How about that?
Appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, let's get this show started with the sneak peek. So
Mm.
let me bring that up. Did that find the right thing? Oh, there it is. So it's on the screen. The subtitle is "Sometimes Spaghetti Like to Be Alone." And compared to last week, we had the noodles hanging down from the hanger. I think CIG is on a noodle trip for some reason. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely on the food.
Yeah.
This I guess it would be a shantytown space barbecue
Mm.
thing.
I want to know what are those meat items that are hanging from that those pipes or whatever that structure.
Fish.
Mhm.
Are you sure you want to know?
I'm curious. It does intrigue me. Not to say that I will be partaking in the indulging of them as far as eating them. No. But I am very curious as to what animal that comes from, or human.
Well, it may
Humanoid.
not be animal or human. It may be vegetable somehow. It could be like soybeans or whatever.
It's possible. You could be correct. That's true.
I mean, this is the future.
It does make you think about what type of animals, foods, and different things that we don't, that are not, excuse me, traditional to our type of food that we will get in the verse. I don't know. Yeah. Boreal stalker burgers. I don't know.
Oh, your stalker burgers. Oh, how about nightmare crab? Meat.
Yeah.
You know what? You might be.
Can you imagine the buff that would give you?
Ooh. Hey, listen. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. Hey, listen. Because I've seen in excuse me, in other games where they talk about where they have names for certain meat items that are different, and they give you buffs. So I mean, you never know. Hey, you never know.
Yeah, you never know what kind of appetizer they're gonna come up with.
So yeah, so I didn't look it up this time, but sometimes spaghetti like to be alone. I'm guessing that's from a song. I have no idea what song that's from. I didn't look it up this time.
Actually, I looked it up. It's actually it's more of a little skit. Looks like it may have been from a sitcom from over in Europe, but it's a waiter brings out the food, and it's about a home recipe, which made me think about what about the meats that are hanging up there. Home recipe, different type of barbecue stuff going on that they're gonna get, and and basically it was basically home recipe that the whole thing was about. So
okay, cool. Yeah, I'm sure probably haven't watched, but yeah, okay. All right, so yeah, that is this week's sneak peek. Spaghetti sometimes like to be alone. So yeah. All right. Now let me zoom. Well, before we I'm just gonna zoom in on that thing. Yeah. Oh wait. Okay, that's meat right there. But then they got bread on in the middle. So I think that's bread in the middle.
Oh, that's bread. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I think that's meat on the left though. So you're right. Wait.
Well,
That first one looked like a finger.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
You know what? Let's.
Am I right?
Yeah, it's
All right.
possible. Let's not go into what the other ones may look like, but we'll continue on. All right.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
All right.
I'm leaving you two to that conversation.
It's funny though. If you zoom back into where you were, right, in that picture, that's an actual water bottle hanging right there.
Oh yeah.
In front.
Oh,
With a light.
That's a lamp. Yeah, for the lamp.
No, but I'm
for the
saying.
light.
Okay, but when you think about it, there's a water bottle hanging there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to figure that out. Like, is the water bottle in front and hanging on the string, or because like the lamp is sitting? It almost looks like the lamp is with inside the water bottle.
Yeah, it is.
So
That's right,
it could be some type of homemade makeshift lantern.
No, I think it's a makeshift lantern.
But why
That's
I
my
hope it's
opinion.
not. Yeah, I hope it's not a plastic though.
But that first thing that's hanging down definitely looks like a finger to me.
Yeah, could be. I hope not.
Too big to be
I am
human
definitely not going to
figure.
eat at that establishment. I don't know about the rest of y'all.
Well, survival or not. Yeah, we
Hey,
can go with a lot
listen,
of things.
like Pops just said, survival. If you don't have another food source around, and you on that last 10%, you might have to take that finger.
You just have to
If
keep a
I'm on
lot
that
of
last 10%,
spices.
I plan poorly, okay? Like, I should have bought some, I
It's
should have some stuff in my
listen,
backpack, unless I got robbed. I probably got robbed at that point, but yeah.
you never
Or,
know. It is
or I'm gonna
possible.
make my way to my spaceship and get some refreshment there, because I'm definitely not gonna take a ship without without a cooler inside. So,
Yeah, but you never know. It's all types of situations that can happen, right?
mm-hmm. We're
That
hoping
is-
that it's a hot dog boss lady, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, then. All right, so next up we have, Happy Lunar, I can't even say it again. Happy Lunar New Year again. CID on Friday put up a new promotion. They've been doing it for the past 3-4 years now, I want to say, but this is 2953 Festival Red Paint. They have a promo. I'll play it real quick.
Discover the spirit of the Red Festival. Let each new journey lead to health, wealth, and virtue. And wherever the adventure takes you, may you find prosperity and good fortune.
Play SC/LNY. So yeah, that is the promo. But let's go back to the oops, let me pause it. I didn't go back. But let's go back to the Lunar New Year site. Right on the left, appearing all over the place on Stanton. If you pick one up, you can get a envelope and collect them and pass them around, I guess. And okay, so they have different events, like different Orison envelope hunt. Community contest, you have win prizes by taking a screenshot of a Red Festival 2953 envelope and your favorite moon. So click there for the details. And Lucky Charm add to your collection. You get this year players get to keep a commemorative red envelope as a memento of the prosperous Lunar New Year adventure, as well as a wooden rooster that are sure to bring your ship luck when perched in its cockpit. What's more, longtime players will also receive Red Festival envelopes from previous celebrations as in-game collector's items. So that's cool. I have to check my hangar to see if they got that. Oh yeah, but you put in a code and put the link in chat. Put good fortune, and then you'll get a wooden rooster in your hangar. I did that already. So, then you have official paint and shipped. Limited time paint. And yeah, this is what they offer this year. $20 for a 3-pack, I believe. So you got the spices, got the cut, and you got that's for this year. And they have last year's paint. So this year the Pisces are the cut. Last year was the Constellation, the Saber, and the just the Constellation and the Saber. And then they had 2951 2 years ago, where you had the Freelancer and the Nomad. So did either of you pick up any paint this year?
No, I don't. Well, I had a Nomad. I bought it for the PI token, but it's been since CC to yeah. But
Yeah, I don't have any of these ships, but I do love the colors. So I did have a Freelancer, I did have a Constellation, I had a Keeler, but I upgraded the Keeler to the 600. So I don't have the paint for that anymore. I melted paint that I had for both of those. So I had to have in my backpack, but not in my hangar.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
I like the I guess it's a pumpkin-ish, reddish orange kind of thing going on. I do like the color, and the gold with it, the black. Yeah, I do like it.
I click on one. Oh, it didn't do anything. Okay. All right. So Also have ships. I decided to sort these by low price to high price. The Pisces, the C8X, not the C8R, but the C8X. They got they do have the C8R, next $5. The Nomad, the Hawk, the Freelancer, the Max. They don't have the Miss. They got the Gladiator. I think that's an underrated ship. I don't really see that. People talk about that. The Saber, the Hornet Wildfire, not the regular Hornet, but the Hornet Wildfire. Oh, there we go, the Miss, the 175. Super Hornet, the Taurus, the Hurricane, Terrapin, Andromeda, Aquila, Valkyrie, Tech, and then it rotates out. So I think both of y'all here have your fleet pretty much figured out. You didn't get any of the new I think they have extended warranty or what insurance. But did either of you get any of those?
No.
Yeah, my fleet is pretty much like you said, pretty much done. The only thing I'm anticipating is some type of an alien exploration ship.
Yeah, my focus as well is pretty much focused on alien right at this point.
Yeah.
So I take care of something real quick.
Yeah.
There you go. So yeah, focus on alien. Yeah, I can hear you. Well, we got like after Invictus Week to have Alien Week, so you still got 4 months before that happens. But if you're patient, it should be coming along. But I didn't get anything this year. I didn't get any paint. Didn't get any ships. They got the Anvil Valkyrie. They have a limited war bond offer. Basically, if you click on that and then click on the option for this, you get the Valkyrie for $25 off, but you pay cash money instead of using the RSI credit. But they still have the whatever insurance that they have. They don't offer any kind of 10-year or LTI insurance this time, so just getting a discount.
Okay.
Same thing for the Hurricane. Click on that real quick. So this is $195 normally, and it's $185. You get a $10 discount to pay with cash. And in the past they've done similar things, but I think the best time was like 2019 and 2020, when we got like a Anvil Hawk or the Anvil. Oh no, they got their Arrow with LTI with CCU. That was excellent. I wish I've gotten more of those, but I didn't at the time. I'm kicking myself for that. Last check before flyable, get the lucrative start in the Lunar New Year with the Korea and cargo hauling and anticipation for the whole season of pending arrival in 2023. We're giving players the opportunity to pick up the Mist Iconic Hauler as a concept plan before its expected flyable release later this year. This see the disclaimer for LTI for limited ship. So if you pay money, you get the ship for $25 off. Let me check the insurance on it. Normal insurance. Hold on. You click on this. 6 months insurance. So again, you get normal insurance, but $25 off. And I recall correctly, and I'm pretty sure it is correct. When the when the ship was first concepted, I want to say 2016-ish, it was only 200. Only 200. So there's a $150 increase. And when it becomes flyable, it'll probably go up another 25. Well, I don't want to say, but it'll probably go up again.
Yeah, I'm sure. But that is a good ship to get if you obviously if you want to do some hauling, but as Griff has said many times, these are going to be the most popular ships in the game.
In the verse, I don't know about in the game, because I mean, not for. I don't think it'll be popular among players, but among the NPCs and everyone that's supposed to be the popular ship. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the disclaimer that they talked about earlier. So that is the Lunar New Year promotion that's going on. Okay. Any comments before we move on, or
Nope, you can
No.
get me one. I'll take it.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, you know.
Will
I
not
got
turn it
another
down.
one. What are we doing? Hold on a sec. Let me take care of this real quick.
Mhm.
There you go. Okay, sorry about that, folks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the Lunar New Year promotion. Code that I said. That's the video. Okay, yeah. Up next we have the Siege of Orison is back. Have you participated in Siege of Orison this time around?
No, not yet.
Yeah, too busy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm. Well, didn't you help with some? Oh, you did 318 stuff last week, didn't
Right,
you?
we did. Right, we did the Reclaimer. We went and did some. What is it? The cave. The cave.
Yeah, we went to the cave.
What else did we do?
We wanted to
so-
get with DK at the racetrack, but we couldn't get back in. It kept failing to load.
Yeah,
I really wanted to do that.
Right.
Oh, what's up, DK? There he is. Speak his
Speaking of
name.
devil.
and he pops out.
Right, there you go.
Say my name 3 times in the mirror.
Oh my God. Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
Candyman.
Oh, you're the Candyman now.
Hell no. Have you been participating in Siege of Orison?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Have you done it before?
Be a fun
just
thing
not
to
this
do.
time?
No, I haven't done it before. I didn't have to.
Oh, you haven't done it at all.
I hadn't
Okay.
jumped in with the group. Maybe that's something to bring up for all of us this week.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at all the platforms that they have on the page right now. So that is the
I don't know that.
platform. Then it has the Brushwood platform, and then they have the Hartmore platform. Then they got the admin center and the Central Cargo Board. And they got the developer project. This is from 2017 so that's an older video. Not, I'm not saying old, but you know, it's been previously discussed, I believe. And then you can add the stars of the seas to your fleet. They have more ships. I'm pretty sure they have normal insurance, 6 months insurance, depending on the ship that they're talking about. They got the Seed Paxies again. Got the Cyclone, the Spartan, the Buccaneer, the Ares Inferno, Ares Ion, Corsair, Hercules, Hammerhead, the A2, and then it rotates around. So yeah, that is the Siege of Orison. I don't know. I was looking for the date that you win it in, but I couldn't find it. But if you're interested, go and check it out. Kicked off last week, January 20th. And head over to the announcement there. Well, let me click on that real quick. Maybe they get me a date. January 30th. Okay. So you have until January 30th to check it out.
Now I will say this though about the Siege of Orison. You know, hopefully, you know, as we said, once the event and the servers become really stable in handling it, I think these types of events are very cool because it kind of makes me think about what's to come in terms of you know, content or gameplay that's out there that'll be in the verse dynamically, you know.
I have a feeling it's going to be pretty huge. That
Yeah.
things are changing. I over the past few days, I've been thinking about the changes that are happening in the game, just not only on the front end, but all the back end services and what's being introduced to now, and what the effects of PES are going to have for us in the next coming year, and how that it's going to affect gameplay and things like that. That it's just going to keep expanding, and things like the narrative team are coming up with new stories that add to events that can happen and gameplay that can also happen and things like that. So I think it's going to be exciting to see what comes of this year with the and the Siege of Orison is just a start. It's just something to at the beginning, a test ground. We're always talking about testing and the things that they're testing, and it's it's just the way it is.
Well,
Bed sheets.
Quite a few people think that Siege of Orison is a replacement for Theaters of War.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, in a way, it kind of is if you think about it, but there's it would be, maybe a siege of Orison on the ground. It's Jumptown, but a ground-based siege of Orison would be interesting, where you can actually have ground vehicles, tanks, and things like that on the ground, coming up with certain kind of strategy, and that would be, and still being able to have air support, things like that. I think that would be pretty cool. More of a theaters of war, as opposed to like this one is, it's on platforms, but from what I see in theaters of war, it would be more of our old Halo style, I think.
Now, DK, let me. Okay, now this was my assumption. I mean, I don't have enough information on theaters of war. I thought it was more like a Group A attacks Group B, kind of a PvP, kind of a closed in thing. If people have maybe, I don't know, if they have beef where they don't get interfered by other things in the verse.
It's kind of, think of it, as yeah, strongly recommend against ground-based vehicles. I'd like to know why. No,
Good tip.
not
Thank
at
you.
the Siege of Orison. Yes, I'm talking about ground-based, say in Hurston or something like that.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm talking about, like having a ground battle, fighting it out over, some kind of outpost or something, that's being raided by Nine Tails, and it's a huge outpost, because they were talking about that today inside Star Citizen, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, I think it, like you said, Pops, I think it is closed in. And when we played like Halo or GoldenEye or anything like that, and we would go and be a PvP, back then you just have to hook up two computers, or you'd actually have to play split screen. But we would go against each other in a closed off environment, kind of like what we have in not Arena Commander, and Star Marine right now.
Right.
But
Okay.
but involving vehicles and airs, and
Okay.
aircraft and drop ships and all sorts of other stuff. I think that's what it was with theaters of war.
Yeah. So it's kind
That's
of
my idea.
it's kind of like what Rainbow Six has evolved into that I don't know if you ever played Rainbow Six.
I
The
think I
newer
played
one,
it, but I
it's
haven't
like
played anything new. No,
yeah,
Rainbow Six Siege. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Mhm.
Okay, that was the feel I got the direction that was supposed to go into.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of close. I mean, they kind of, it's kind of a crossover, if you want to say it like that. It could be like considered have been a crossover, but in terms of what it's bringing to Siege of Orison right now, I think a lot of the game mechanics they probably were working on for Theaters of War are being introduced through Siege of Orison, and just being dynamically introduced into the verse. Maybe they'll do a standoff, kind of into little pods that you can play in on your ship, that you can probably get and buy and put onto your ship for those long journeys. You can get into the sim pod and play Theaters of War with a friend on the ship or something like that. I mean, that would be pretty cool. Maybe they could bring it in that way.
Yeah, DK, it just it is amazing, because you think about the price of Rainbow Six Siege. Then you think about the price of a first-person shooter. It would be two separate games. Then you think about an MMO, what that would cost you. So you look at just those three products would probably cost you probably well over, maybe like $150, well over. So you think about the price that
Easily.
that we are getting for, if you bought the Squadron 42 package, what is it, like $70? So I mean, look at
65 on it, or maybe it's
65.
gone up. Let me check.
Maybe okay.
Go
So I
ahead.
mean, you just look at the price of that, and I hate to go back into that scam thing, but how do you get all of that for
Well,
$65?
not just that, Pop, but remember,
Yeah,
there's nothing to do in Star Citizen. You know that. You heard about that. There's nothing to
exactly.
do in the
There's
game.
nothing to do. There's no we just go in a verse and look at a rock. Yeah, look at that rock.
No,
Wow.
it's we're going to be seeing a lot of things being introduced now that the
Mhm.
PES is out of the way, and and my thoughts are that that is the big piece. The server meshing, yeah. Adding a new star system, I'm looking forward to it, but putting in that core piece of PES and now being able to expand it and all the things that they can expand because of that is,
Mhm.
I think, the big milestone. And that's what's going to drive a much of our gameplay coming this year. Maybe we won't get Pyro. Maybe we won't get, server meshing at the end of this year. They want to predict it. Maybe we
Mhm.
won't. Let's not get our hopes up.
Hmm.
But
Right,
it's
right.
more important right now is what are they going to be putting into
Mhm.
318, 318.2, 319 throughout this year. They've got a lot of stuff they can put in because now PES is in. They can completely start working on persistent hangars, working on cargo elevators, working on all sorts of different things for Bobby Glass and bounty hunting type of things, more racing things. It's just there's a whole bunch of
Mhm.
stuff. Salvage
Yeah.
continue, iterating on salvage, bunch of stuff they can do now that PES has done. So
Mhm.
we're just going to see
Mhm.
all these little iterations throughout the year. That's
Yeah,
is
let me
enough
let me
for
cut in.
me.
Let me cut in. So
Mhm.
yeah, I have the package thing
Oh,
up.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
just it's $65 now for both of them. But that's just for the
Mhm.
Alpha or the MR. They have the Titan SC and Squadron
Mhm.
42 pack for $90. So it goes up depending on what ship you get. But yeah, you can get it for
Hmm.
you can get both of
Mhm.
them for 65. And let me get the right person right in here. Alex the Droog said it cost them $40 for both games. Yeah, I'm about the same. Cost
Mm.
me, I want to say
Mhm.
40. I forget what package it is, but yeah, back in the day, it was cheaper. But typically, potentially it's supposed to be two AAA games. So eventually, the prices will probably go up to $60 each for both of them. That's
Right.
later on,
Right.
not anytime soon that they're down.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, and
All
I
right.
have
So
a
yeah.
big feeling when 42 comes out. Yeah. You talk about the memberships. Yeah, I think they probably maybe get close to doubling what it is now.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean it's
yeah,
at least $90 easily. I can see that
yeah.
in like maybe 2 years,
Well, I'm talking about
if that.
accounts. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm talking
Oh
about a
yeah,
number
yeah,
of
yeah.
accounts.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, number of accounts that are going to be coming because I've got a feeling that 42 is going to be the things that they're putting into it. Just have a feeling, a gut feeling. It's going to be way more than we think because every time it's at the Citizen Bar Citizen we had, everybody was trying to ask Brian, and Brian kept telling, "And I touch on it," but it was
Can I
his
just say?
inflection.
Yeah,
Yeah,
can I just
go
say?
ahead.
When we have a CIG guest at one of the bar citizens, don't
Yeah,
pester them for questions.
don't
Just let them hang out and enjoy the
let him.
fun, please.
Yeah, but it was his inflection, the way he said, "I can't ask," but he said, "I will say that it is more than you think." So that enough was enough for me.
Okay.
Yep,
All
just that
right.
little
So
balloon.
that was the seed of Orison return for Lunar New Year. So up to we have this week in Star Citizen. So Tuesday had the law post. We'll get to that in a moment. Wednesday, yesterday they had the Squadron 42 monthly report. Uh, Today we had Inside Star Citizen returning. Turbulent environment folks from Montreal studios and they discussed new derelict location coming in 319. Plus a check on the current progress in upcoming Lorville landing zone redux, first seen in CitizenCon for 952. And this Friday, return of Star Citizen Live. Yay! With live game director Happy and development director Guillaume Vogel to talk about Alpha 318. That is the Twitch at 9 a.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. UTC, or noon Eastern. That'll be tomorrow. And that is this weekend in Star Citizen. After that, we had the Squadron 42 month report. That we don't really cover that, but I'll put the link in chat for people to look up later on. And that is the Squadron 42 monthly report. Oh, well, they did November and December because they skipped last month evidently. But yeah, that's Squadron 42 monthly report. Oh yeah, this is the lore post. Portfolio Rise of the Red Festival. If people want to check that out, anyone check give this a read yet?
No.
No.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, that is the lore post that they discussed in this week in Star Citizen. Check that out when you get a chance. Oh yeah, so this is the we get up to some of the Spectrum posts this week. So first post we have is the pledge store broken in Firefox. When they attempt to check things like the extras, it shows up an empty page will work fine in Chrome. And Adrian from Turbulent said, update, easy list accepted. The acceptance for our site, the pledge store will be working again without needing to work around as the update roll out. And you block Orison, you may force the list changes in that there, and purge all caches and update now. So they give you a fix. So if you use Firefox and it's not working, try to use that fix, and hopefully it'll work for you. Anyone still use Firefox?
No, is that still around?
Right?
I used it like maybe 5, 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
What was the other one? It was,
Go ahead.
No, not Napster. What was the other browser? It started
Mozilla,
with an N.
Edge, Internet Explorer, Opera.
No, Opera's new. It started with an N.
No, Netscape. Netscape.
Netscape. Okay.
Mm-hmm. that became Firefox.
Oh, it did. Okay.
Yeah, that became Firefox.
That's where Firefox came from. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the thing back in the day. Then Chrome came along, but evidently some people still use Firefox, and it was broken. So I guess Turbulent just tried to make sure that everything works in Chrome and Edge or Internet Explorer. They don't care about the other stuff. No, I'm kidding. I made that up. But they do care about the other stuff, so that's why they give it a fix. But yeah, hopefully anyone who had an issue is not having an issue anymore. And hey, everybody who's joining in, we're talking about this weekend, the stuff that's going to happen this weekend Star Citizen. Alright, so up next we have, there was an NVidia issue this week with the PTU. So they downloaded, it was live, but they downloaded the latest drivers for the gigabyte RTX 490 overclock card today, and they were experiencing constant crash the desktop, basically. And they rolled back the drivers and hadn't had a crash the desktop sent. So Sylvain from CIG said, as people pointed out, this is most likely a driver issue. As long as we don't get multiple reports, it's not worth looking into. If we would do this for every crash, we wouldn't maybe make any progress at all. How often it's just the user's fault for various reasons. Thanks for mentioning though, they are aware of it, and it keeps popping up for most people to certainly take a look. Cheers and fly safe. So if you use a 4090 card and you downloaded the latest driver and you haven't crashed the desktop, roll back to the previous driver. So anyone have a 4090 here?
No.
49? No. Oh, no. No.
Well, I thought y'all were rich. Didn't you have?
Yeah.
Don't you have $2,000 to spend on a 4090?
And even if I did have that kind of money, I don't think I would want to put.
No.
I don't know. I just can't justify it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
Alex the Duke said they have 4X 4090s in SLI.
I won't turn one down, boss lady.
So yeah, so if you have an issue with your graphic drivers that you're updating, try rolling back, and hopefully that'll fix it. If not, submit a report in the issue council. That's what report in the issue council, letting them know just so they can take a look at it. But that was solved. So next up we have. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, I said cool.
So up next we have the Star Citizen Alpha 318 PTU Patch Notes, and this was on 2 days ago, January 24th. Basically, audience is wave 1 still, server is US EU, database will be reset, and testing focus is our salvage host scraping platform installed on Orison, security post Korea, reactivation, courier delivery mission update, sandbox prison activities, Drake Vulture, Stand Cave, Draymond Crash Site, Stanton Racetrack Location, Time Trial, Great Cat PTV Racetrack, New Rivers, 40 New Rivers in Hurston and Microtech, additional derelict outposts, restricted access V3, Arena Commander quality of life changes. And I still haven't list of non-issues. Oh, the known issues have gone down significantly. I remember I'm scrolling for days last week for known issues. So evidently they're fixing those. So that's good.
There was an update about an hour ago.
Oh, the new one? The new patch notes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Well, let me see if I can jot it real quick. Give me a moment. Yep, I see it now. I'm gonna open that and then drag it into this thing. Give me a moment. Thank you for that, DK. So yeah, this is the current Star Citizen patch note. So what happened to putting letters on these things? They're just using numbers now? Because I remember these three was up to U or W or something like that before.
They'd be like AAA at right this present moment.
They ran out of alphas. They
All
exhausted and went to the end.
So yeah, so thank you for that, DK. So yeah, I don't see much difference between the two of them. The known issues has grown a little bit since the previous
course.
So yeah, they got more known issues.
They got more known issues.
Oh my goodness.
So
Yeah,
great
that's the
question.
way it goes.
Yeah, Grim did mention what I thought was very interesting and good insight. Starjump Grim, when he was saying that it's maybe a lot of issues that may be more about persistence. It's
absolutely.
Than anything.
This is new territory. Yeah. They changed up a massive amount of code in the back end. They're pushing it. There's like, you built the house and you put the frame up, and now you decide you're going to change the foundation and not take out the frame and still leave the frame. That's the way I look at it. That's a big undertaking. And so we're going to see a lot of known issues, but I say the good thing is that as we see the known issues and they are changing and varying because they're finding them. Sometimes if you go back, you'll see the known issue and you look through the patch notes and under the fixes, you might see that issue was fixed a couple, patches, in the future. If you look back from the past, it's just the way things work in this area. I'm glad to see that they're continuously trying to fix stuff, and more stuff will pop up, and the more that pops up, the more that they can fix, and keep working these little bugs out. It takes time. Especially
I'm going to go through the known issues real quick. The Great Corsair has a large and extended AUE player. The Constellation multivariant vehicle, the Stump Fighter lacks interaction prompt to enter it, making it unusable. So you can't enter the Stump Fighter in Constellation. Hull scraping. Any salvage arms canister attachment would not attach to a multi-tool in salvage mode. Inventory equipped gear can be lost when the player dies in Armistice Zone. You died in Armistice Zone? Okay. Scanning, not showing advanced statistic and detail. Elevators and trams are jittery. Oh god, during transit of a player character. That's great. I'm hoping that I won't make people get motion sick.
Yeah.
Some sections of the hull so the valid, but are not, but do not allow salvage. Crusader Hercules, some section of the hull is getting difficult, impossible to salvage. And Volcaic, section of the hull so they're not valid and do not allow salvage. Missions, AI and location. Once a mission has been completed at settlement, the AI will not respond for the next mission, resulting in it completing upon reaching the location.
I'm going to add to that with that one particular one. I think that is what is holding back this patch from going any further. If they can't get that fixed, you can't complete missions. I think that's the biggest part of it. If no one can complete missions, there's no point in playing. You can't complete any missions, not even so that's a big one right there. And I think it was Super Mac Brother that I was listening to. He gave a lot of insight today. Shout out to him. But that's a big blocker, I think. Is that one right there.
And the next one is if reinforcements do not leave the ship, they will be counted toward the hostile remaining total even once the ship had left, resulting in the mission being incomplete. The Valkyrie bottom turret locks and makes players invisible. Hey, that's not a bug. That's a feature. Salvaging some ship wreckage erroneously give no material tech and do not let you salvage. Quantum entanglement, hostile indicator QEDs do not mark ships hostile. I see that people having fun with that. Multi-vehicle EU snacking vehicles. Destroyed ship thrusters will not function after being repaired. Dang. Cargo. Fully loaded C2 landed in Area 18 results in slow frame rates or crash. Ouch. Don't use a C2. Vehicles IFCS. When flying near another ship seems to hit an invisible box that kicks it into random direction. Right.
That's not fun. That's just funny. They should leave that one in.
Stand-in law system. Users spawn in prison with weapons and armor after dying through the crime stat.
There you go.
Trading cargo invisible in multiple ships. Oh yeah, you gotta fix that one.
That's that bug that came back because that was an old bug.
Feature update added the Centurion, CDR, Cutter, Corsair, and Mule to in-game shop, and a whole bunch of bug fixes that go through these. Technical, they fixed 8 client crashes and fixed 8 server crashes. I'm gonna go check the previous page to see what they say there at the bottom. Fixed 2 client crashes. That's previous one. And also, I forgot to say, Jake Acapella responded, but hey y'all, account copy to PTU will be turned back on within the next couple of hours. So evidently there was some people who wanted to copy their account for the PTU, weren't able to, but they turned that back on. So thank you for the page, everyone. That was a couple of days ago. No, that was yesterday. Sorry, yesterday. All right. So any other
comments? If you need to do it right. Do it right now.
Well, yeah. So any other comments about the well, I mean, yeah. So it seems to me like there's still a while away before this goes live. That's my impression. That's from meeting me.
Yeah, it's a while away. It is. I'll be surprised if it goes into. They might even do a wave 2, which they haven't done in a while. Maybe in a couple weeks, still open it up to
it's a
the
lot of
other
stuff.
servers. Yeah, and maybe they'll open up the other servers because we're still on they did open up the EU. So maybe they'll open up Australia and Asia and really get it going to make sure everything is working out properly before they push it to live, because it has to go to live in a good state, because once it goes to live, there's no turning back. So
well, I mean, there are some turning back. I mean, they have done it before, but it's really under edge case. It's really yeah.
No, if they had to turn back on this one, they're gonna lose a lot of faith with the community. But no, they have to do it. Yeah, I say end of the month, February, maybe push in March. I would say that enter live I agree with you, Kai. I absolutely agree.
Mm.
All right. Well, that is the P2 test, the patch notes for the PTU. Well, thank you for letting me know. 'Cause I do the setup for the show like in advance, so I didn't know there was a.
Oh yeah, it just popped up right before we started. So
Alright, so this is looking for questions for Star Citizen Live. This is from Jake Acapella, CIG, all about Alpha 318. So this Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. UTC on noon Eastern. They got Todd Poppy and William Bogle to talk about 318. As usual, the spread is a chance to make questions. Don't forget to vote to see which ones you want answered most. I'm going to put the link in chat. People can vote on these to see, or submit your own question as to what you want to talk about tomorrow, what you want to ask about tomorrow. They give you posting guidelines. I'm going to go through that, but yeah. So if you want to ask a question, go ahead and submit a question to that thread, or look through it and vote for the question that you like.
Mhm.
Alright, so up next we have the return of Inside Star Citizen. This is 15 minutes long, but I'm gonna split these in half, probably around 8:35, 8 minutes and 30 seconds. So let's get to it, and we'll come back in the middle.
It's a new year, and like every new year before it, here at CIG, January is a time of planning, of summits, of getting together and looking back at how the plans and activities of last year went to revise and inform the direction and processes of the one ahead. And to do so, all while still working diligently on Alpha 318, Star Citizen's biggest patch since 2017. One that will serve as future foundation for the persistent universe's development going forward. And to say it's a busy time in the studios at this moment would be an understatement. But it's also an opportunity for ISC to stretch its legs a bit like we always do. Maybe try a few new things here and there to take advantage of the first real big series of internal gatherings we've been able to have since the pandemic began, and continue to look at as many aspects of video game development as we can, while always doing our best to not get in the way of that very same development. And I'm sure the editors will tell me that was my longest single run-on sentence in ISC history. So this quarter, we can look forward to seeing a few teams that we haven't seen in a while, meet some that are newly formed for the needs of this new year, continue to look farther forward than usual with our Journey to 4.0 specials, and of course, continue to look at work currently in progress for the next quarterly release, which is where we're going to start this week. Now, while Alpha 318 is still working its way through PTU, let's jump ahead to a little of what's on its way for Alpha 319 after that, where during a recent Environment Team Summit here in the UK, we asked visiting members from our Montreal studio to discuss the next evolution of crashed derelicts making their way into the persistent universe, including new variations to existing favorites in multiple stages of decay, and the addition of modular habitation units that will soon allow for the continued creation of new mission locations from the tiniest of barracks to the most impressive of shantytowns.
Derelicts are important because it's adding content, enriching the experience for the player. It's like telling a story as well as the actual piece of a derelict that's there.
The derelicts who are in the game right now are super nice. I'm super happy about them. We have really nice shapes. We can really feel the scale. When we walk, we can see how big they are.
They're impressive from a distance. The rustic feel, the abandonedness, these big, enormous, impressive shapes and silhouettes that you get to explore.
Having all the vegetation growing up on them bring really a second life, and it's super interesting to see that bring kind of adventure side of all those things, a mysterious side.
Indiana Jones kind of style, this exploring, discovering. There's a variety for players like to experience, to go back, revisit, and enjoy the derelict.
I think we can improve the speed to create those because they are really big location. We need to have a lot of artists working on those because it's really a huge amount of work to work on those one, and we want to create 100 of them everywhere on different planets and moons.
Adding more of the, like, because we have like OCs, so like dressing them up immediately instead of hand placing all the rocks, the foliage, and all the like visual elements separately by hand. We should make actually like nicer modules that are already like pre-assembled and like most of the stuff is already contained in it. So that way we can like deploy it, spend a bit more time on detailing, just an extra pass, an extra level of depth to the art.
What I like the most on the new ship we create a deeper story about those crash sites. With the Star Runner crashing on the planet and having the 600i just crashing on the mountain just by, we can just think about maybe they got a fight on the sky and they get hit and the boat get crashed just by themselves.
We really set out to add different variations of age to our ships. So we have like the freshly crashed ships, the older ones that the planet overgrown over, and we have the very like derelicts as like just a skeleton of the ship that's remaining. Really just the frame of the actual ship that's just abandoned and rusted out.
The first ages of the derelict crash site is the fire one. That's it's when the ship just crashed, it's still on fire, we still have power in it, we still have sparks. The second age is crash. So that's the ship is crashed there, but maybe just a week after that. So no fire, no smoke anymore, no power inside the ship, no sparks. The third age is the biome, it's overgrown. It's when the biome just take its place back. We're going to have more sand on it, we have more dirt, we have grass, going to have leaves and vine growing up on it.
The fourth version is the paint's been worn off. It's been in the sun for an extended period of time. It's scratched up. It's a lot of rust that's been overgrown. It's been scavenged. People have visited the ship, and it's missing pieces, panels. So a lot of wires are hanging. It's been used. It's been harvested, basically. And I'm really excited about the derelict habs that we'll be adding to them. We're looking at a library of habs to create these little settlements.
We create those library because we want to reuse all those habs on different ship and create the different stories and depth about why that ship is there and who is going to live around.
We have like interiors, we have some that is just for like sheltering from the sun, from the harsh conditions of the planet. We have some that's just for like, for sleeping. Ooh, there's some that have like little bars, little setups inside. People can eat, can meet up. Some other ones are just for like electricity generation. We have solar panels on some of them.
When people find those ships, they kind of salvage them, so they took part and kind of create some kind of habitation because they want to live around those crash sites to be able to protect themselves for the weather.
These little mini camps, basically, that people can go and explore. These can be added to the new derelicts, but also to the old ones as well. We made them pretty flexible in terms of look, because we can change up the wear and tear on these things, so we can add different ages to them. We can make them look extra rusty, or we can look like pretty much brand new, like they just scavenged the ship and made these little huts out of the panels and stuff. The purpose is to have a multi-use, multi-ages, different environments that they can suit into either snow, sand environments, different weather into the jungle. Like it's a multi-purpose habs library that, yeah, it's just increase our speed and everything.
So the idea was to finish our library in the last years. So now with the next mandate, with the next Derelict Crash, we'll be able to create all those shantytown everywhere on different planets. So that will bring more gameplay and more opportunity to the player to just go around and visit them.
And if there's one constant in game development, that's change. or in this case, the continuing iteration by a dedicated team to populate the planets and moons of Stanton and Pyro with not only the derelicts and shantytowns that we saw, but our landing zones like Lorville. Now, we first spoke of the
Alright, so I think they're gonna stop there and let it go back and come back to us. So yeah, that was the first half of ISC. What do people thought? That's gonna like free fall.
Oh, okay. I'll jump in. I like to see what they're doing, especially with these shanty towns, to, instead of things being just the little, man, my brain is freezing up on. I forget what you call it. Those
Hey, you decided to go first.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. Those right. Well, the regular outposts that we're normally used to, and to be able to see the derelict locations, progression, to see how we'll have more variety to them, and stuff like that, which is really cool. But I just throw my 2 cents in it like that, and
All right.
I mean,
Go ahead, Pops.
I can understand where Jared is coming from with the run-on sentence. Yeah, Star Citizen will make you. It will definitely make you do that. But the thing that comes to my mind, the more things change, the more they stay the same. How people go out and civilizations spring up from shanty towns and things like that. Kind of it came to my mind. Another thing I'd really like to point out, which I really enjoyed seeing, was a skeleton that was in the ship.
That was cool.
And, yeah, and we maybe we'll go in the cave and there'll be remains of animals and things like that, so I was definitely glad to see that. But and all those assets that they're making, yeah, wow. Okay, DK, next.
So I'm going to add to your assets there, Pops, and because you were talking about the assets, and that's one of the things that was that I found interesting, and it's just the proof of what's of how they are making the developing each and every little piece of the puzzle. Like that tool that they're developing to make the outposts and to make the derelicts is now something that they could use to populate all of the systems. All of the star systems with various ships and various states of decay, and who knows what kind of loot you might find, or some of these outposts might have NPC civilization living there. Maybe they're hostile, maybe they're not, maybe they're peaceful. That in the last monthly report for the PU, they were doing a lot of talk about the AI tech and the and their ability to navigate and to open doors and to drive vehicles and to just to different things, react to stimuli around them, and it's just all these little things that they're doing with NPCs that is going to go into making these outposts and these homes, these things come to life. And we're seeing it happen right now. Who knows, in the next update 319.2, they'll have NPCs at the bar, and you can go in and get a drink at the bar, and that'll be the first iteration of outposts with some kind of a where you can buy and sell things. Maybe they'll have an outpost with a weapons sell shop or something like that, where an NPC will sell you a rare gun or something that was found. So it's just kind of interesting things like that, that make looting, in a way. But even if you're bartering for something, selling repair tools from your ship to you built, refining or from salvaging, and you're selling it to some guy to get a gun that he had acquired. It's just kind of interesting things to think about. But this is a starting point, and I love these outposts. These things are so cool. But one gripe, and it was on Spectrum, and very rarely do I agree with somebody griping on Spectrum. But he said they kept saying Rust. It's like rust implies that they're made of iron or have some kind of iron and it's an oxidation. Iron oxidation. That means they're steel. The ships are not made of steel. He's having a gripe. And
I mean, something can rust and not be made of steel.
It's gotta. I think iron is the only one that causes rust.
There are other forms of rusting, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, it would be corrosion. And maybe. So it's just funny. He had a gripe on it, and I was just like, I did kind of notice that he said rust, and I'm like, the ships don't rust; they're not made of steel.
So when gold turns green, that's not that's corrosion.
Copper.
Copper rust. I have no idea. But you know what, DK, you're absolutely right. The gameplay, and I think it was Prisoner, I think, said, about the gameplay with getting DNA, and we're basically, I know the game's been in development for a while, but it seems to me, I get this feeling that we're really at, I'm not gonna say the beginning, but it's really basically like we're coming at this birthing stage, the more they add to it, the more it seems like this is the depth that this game is going to go into. Possibilities, towns springing up on moons, and people visiting places, and how many moons and things there'll be in the game, and so many places to visit and see. I'm gonna stop right now again.
Yeah, DK, you started something in
Started
chat.
something. I know I did.
I just want to say copper rust, because you got the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So yes, other things can rust.
Just gonna leave that one alone. That's why I thought it was funny, because he was griping in Spectrum. I'm like, this is actually kind of funny. I kind of agree with you in a little bit, but this is funny.
like the Octopub hates it when someone does this, but it's funny to me. So they all went actually on you, DK, when you talk about that. But yes, for me, this part when it gives the different ages for the different derelict, from when it crashed to when it's like a week old to and stuff like that. So I thought that was interesting. So you can tell, you'll be able to tell how old a derelict is by how it looks. I thought that was interesting.
Think about a lore post that, or some kind of lore entry where they talk about a war on some planet or moon in some particular system, and you go there and you find remnants of all the ships that were in that war because it happened on in atmosphere or something like that, and you go and you just find all these derelicts spread out across like a wide area. That would be lots of treasure. That would be so cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, somebody's been living there too, so good luck.
Yeah.
And
I really dug the scene where they were dancing and having a good
right
old
here.
time.
Yeah.
There it is.
That's where we need a bar. Yeah.
People having a good old time.
Good
They're
time.
celebrating the Lunar New Year. Hey, I said it like that time. So that's the first half of ISC. Let's get to the second half. Let me cue it up real quick. So give me a moment. 8:35. Here we go.
Lorville. Now, we first spoke of the upcoming changes to Lorville in a Journey to 4.0 segment at CitizenCon 2952. But while we had the folks in town, we thought it'd be worth checking in on the team's progress while they were here. Progress that's, quite frankly, going so well, we're starting to think this new version of our oldest landing zone might just arrive a little sooner than expected.
Since the last time we talked about Lorville 2.0, a lot of things have changed. It has evolved. The key element that changed is the detail level of all the elements, and I specifically like to mention the buildings. So there's details that really enhances the building believability. All the industrial outskirts really give the impression of a scale of the city. it will be iconic. Our materials are much more closer to a final look. We were going to a path of adding more tints and variety in color to the buildings and the surrounding structures, as well adding a lot of emissives throughout the city, and that gives like a good impression of the day and the night cycle. The branding is very Hurston family centric, like they're very brutalist in a way, and yeah, it will be iconic. The process of going from first pass into final, sometimes we have to break a bit of stuff because as we're finding out the correct scale of the buildings, validate how it looks and how it works together, and we realize certain things need to be aligned differently. We have to go into and remove some buildings or rearrange some neighborhoods to make them fit together in a more cohesive way. There's things beyond like the new buildings. There's new pathways, there's the trenches, there's some tunnels as well, going into like those pyramid shapes that comes from Eric's concept, and we've added tunnels to those. There's cranes, and they create an opportunity to fly under them, flowing from the outside of the city to the inside, and pipelines. And there's a way of finding your way into Lorville with all these things that we've added, and it has like a really fun structure, easy ways to find where you're at. We're adding more landing pads, especially on the building rooftops. They create opportunities for gameplay, for pickup missions, and for the future of building interiors as well, or just simple mission types of stuff to do on the rooftops. The city is quite expanded, so it's extending much further in terms of like the industrial areas that we're adding to the outreach of the city, the outskirts. They feel like they have a purpose. They have like quarries, they have like the pipelines, they have like industry or manufacturing. They lead up to the city. It feels functional. There's like smokestacks, activity going on with cranes, and it makes like a fun layout. We've experimented with moving L19 or the CBD or the spaceport in relationship to each other. In the end, we barely moved them. We only moved like the spaceport slightly, like a few hundred meters. That's not a lot in the whole scale of the city. What you'll see from the vistas from those places is going to be really a big positive change, I think. And it's still something we're tweaking and working on because we really want to make those work like key shots, basically, for those vistas. Travel through the city is not changing, other than the fact that the transit to the gates will be a bit extended, but the view from the transit will be a lot different in a good way, less repeated. You feel more like you're in a real city, and will take like a special care along like the path of the train. The key to changing Lorville is the opportunity to have like a whole city built to scale, so that we can fly in and there's no zones that are blocked to the player. Different viewpoints throughout the city where we can land, and it's preparing also the ground for the future updates like the building interiors, because the original buildings in Lorville were much too small to have buildings and building interiors in the future. And you're gonna hear more about the building interiors in a few weeks.
So, what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that the Crash Derelict system is continuing to evolve as more and more locations are added to the standard system in the upcoming Alpha 3.19. That progress on the new Lorville isn't just looking great and coming along fast, it's also in preparation for its own next evolution that includes building interiors, which, as Maxime said, we'll be discussing in just a couple weeks. And overall, this week is a reminder that iteration is at the heart of any game's development, and that while the new and shiny will always get the most attention, it's just as important to continue maturing what's come before to ensure the better after. And as for the right now and Alpha 3.18, well, that's still going through its paces on our public test universe. But you should keep an eye on the robertspaceindustries.com website and socials for when this huge mammer jammer of a patch takes its next big step. And while we're all waiting, stop leaving all those crashed spaceships littered around all the new racetracks. We didn't add persistence just to let you all make messes. Well, some of us might have. Benoit definitely did. Now, don't forget that Lunar New Year is also going on right now on the live servers with contests, paints, envelopes, and roosters galore. So be sure you check that out. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. We'll see you all here next week.
And we're back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna rewind it to the middle. So yeah, free fall again. What do people thought about the last half of ISC?
Can I go first?
Go ahead.
Is that okay? Because I
Yeah.
just have to say this. Disco found a way to use the word mamma jamma.
That's a highlight for the whole ISC, right?
Highlight of the second half. But yeah, stop me if I run on too long, please. But it's great to see. I mean, I didn't think about it. Lorville was just a shell of what was to come. And him saying that, it wasn't to scale. I thought it was to scale because and T Nice to mention about giving a reason to ride the trend. I mean, it's been said before about we may be able to spend so much time on planet, we may not get off the planet, weeks later, because there's going to be missions and you'll be able to, hacking missions. I don't know, my mind is kind of going, maybe kidnappings or, all kinds of things that will ground gameplay and landing areas and, to scale, going inside places and just letting, right now my mind is wandering. So I'll stop and let DK or my son go. All right.
Who wants to go next?
I'll keep it short and sweet. When I heard him say that, well, two things. When I heard him say that they are going to be expanding the city to a point where you can basically fly anywhere without any, I think was it the term he said, safe zones? Because I think he said safe zones or something. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I believe he was referring to sort of like whenever you fly down and you hit a certain part, the ship would automatically, turn back.
Yeah. Or you just explode.
Right, exactly. So that's a very cool thing to be able to do. Also too, my mind kind of went to the point where, players are going to start dive bombing the city again, or doing something silly, because they're going to try it, they're going to test it
for the first week.
Yeah, well, it's going to happen, and stuff like that. But then it's a very cool thing. But the second part, is the part where he talked about these buildings will start to become actually functional. Not just as you can see landed on, but he talked about lived in. And that to me is, like I said again, I know there's other games that do have that, to an extent, but when you think about them having that ability to go in, I don't know how many buildings they'll have available for you to go into, but that's crazy. That's really cool.
DK?
Yep. So you heard it. Jared confirmed persistent apartments in 319. No, I'm messing.
Yeah,
But
I'm
no,
gonna say I don't think so.
no, what that does bring up is that, talking about interiors, and of course we're talking about all the persistent stuff and hangars and stuff like that. That is foreshadowing perhaps of us being able to at least rent an apartment, as a beginning of building our own homes and things like that. No, we can't build our own homestead, but renting an apartment at Area 18 is cool. But with Lorville though, it actually might make me want to start out there. In the patch. Might is the big word there because it's probably not going to happen. But I'll go visit it, but the architecture is so cool. I really dig the architecture, and like you said, the train ride around there is going to be cool. I would love to do that train ride, like it is, sunrise or a sunset, like it is there, and just kind of watch it go by. I think it's just it's a beautiful, beautiful place. And I was, was thinking that maybe they might do a little touch up on the spaceport, and down in the metro center and whatnot. Just maybe touch it up and give, freshen up the layout or something. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But they did, but he's like he said, they didn't really move anything. Maybe a couple things might have shifted and moved, just a little bit. But they are keeping the standard layout, which is good because we're all used to the same layout right now, and have to go to a brand new layout would be a pain in the butt. But no, I think I think Lorville's going to really be a place to. It'll be a fun visit and to see all the new missions and things that'll pop up there now that they have the ability to do all of the things the other 3 landing zones have the ability to do. With the landing on pads and being able to kind of roam further around, especially with Orison and Microtech or a new manage. But no, it's cool. We'll see what happens. People will get in there and try to find all of the secret little tunnels and hidden places and things like that, like they did with New Babbage, and I'm sure there's a lot more hidden stuff over at Orison that nobody knows about because that place is huge.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Like Lorville and ArcCorp, those are the 2 points of interest I visited the least. I visited Orison a lot. I visited Microtech a lot. ArcCorp and Lorville doesn't really have hold my interest, but mostly because of the way the lore and kind of the way it looks too. That for me. But I am excited for the rework or the revisitation of Lorville. I'm not gonna say that it's gonna make me want to visit them more often, but I appreciate that the thought of expanding the verse, because once you get to Lorville, they may expand the other places too. As well as work on new locations like Terra or Earth.
Yeah, FC, you took the words right out of my mouth. If we could imagine, I don't know, you just think of the scale of the game. This is a planet, and if they're saying they're expanding this city, and it's going to basically, have a lot of nooks and crannies. This is just one planet. Wow. I mean, like you just mentioned, Area 18, New Babbage, I mean, all of these planets that we're going to have, this is going to be a massive exploration, adventure, dynamic events going on throughout the verse, places you are going to not be able to see everything happening all at once. You're going to need that Moby Glass to pick up news broadcasts of the events that are happening in the next solar systems. It's going to be news traveling through the whole system. Okay, all right, I'll stop again.
I was gonna say something. I think I forgot. Something about Lorville or in Microtech. Nope, it's gone. Oh well.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
I love the part up at the end where Jared said, "Stop crashing the ships." That was cute. I just want to say, if you're drunk, become a passenger of someone else's ship. Don't crash your ship. Don't be a menace. Be a solution. Be part of the solution.
while you're drinking your juice.
Exactly. You got me. So yeah, that's a good ISC. I'm glad to see ISC return because it's been a month without ISC, and it's good. It's good to have him back. So thank you for bringing me back. Appreciate it. All right. So that is this ISC. Up next we have the machinima. Griffin just put this in recently. This is from Wicked Wookie. Buying a Drake buck from the scrapyard. Starts it at the machinima. It's 4 minutes, so let's check it out. I have no idea what this is about, so I'll be watching with y'all.
Have a ship.
Oh yeah, man, I got this Drake Buccaneer right here blowing my Meemaw. In fact, now she's real easy on it. She only took it out every other Sunday, do a little light pirating, never no heavy pirating, just get the blood flowing, and never no missile strikes, nothing like that. Just some slight laser fire abrasions, a couple bullet holes in it. And that wing right there, we JB welded that sucker right back on. That JB weld strung that old nanner carbon they got. And look at them big old guns, man. They got guns up top, guns on the side, laser guns, pew-pew guns, distortion guns, all kind of guns on this sucker. It's good. And landing gear a little bit squeaky. WD-40, clear that right up. And it's got a bit of a hole breach inside, but that's probably more for your benefit, because Grandma, she'd get real gassy after eating them double dogs. So you're probably just best keep that spacesuit on, because you're a spaceman anyway. And but look at these big old trash can engines. Yes, sir. Goddamn chicken fire Kamehameha waves coming out the back. This bitch, she will get up shit and get, son. I ain't kidding you. It will immortally fly. Yeah, Bo, I think you're gonna be happy with this ship right here, Bo. It'll do you good, man. It'll do you right. It ain't gonna leave you broke down inside me. What do you want, Meemaw?
I need my double dog.
You don't need no more goddamn double dogs. They can smell your stinking asshole way over there at Art Court. Good lord. I'm trying to sell a man a ship. Get back in there. Ain't nobody wants to see what's underneath that gown.
Sorry about that, we're back. I had to put the link in chat real quick. Oh my god, that was too funny. Oh man. Alright. Dark Knight, what are your thoughts?
You rolled the dick. I just kept going on and on and on and on and on. Oh my god, that was hilarious. It's just some of the crap that was coming out of his mouth. I'm trying to remember the lines, but it just went by so fast. It was just
Exactly.
like, Jesus, man. That was really well played. That was really well played. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. I mean, our community is just our community is nuts. You gotta love it. Awesome.
Yeah. Face to face.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for comedy, and you know, this one was right up my alley. When he said something, you know, it reminds me of the humor in Borderlands. You know, oh my god,
Yeah.
I've heard some of the most outlandish things in Borderlands ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, let's leave it there.
I'll suck your water.
Oh no! Oh, you said it. You said it. You said it.
That's from That's what he said in Borderlands.
Yeah.
What he meant by it,
I don't know.
No idea.
I've never heard that before in my life until I played Borderlands.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna mention that
I don't know what that meant.
I'm just gonna mention in this video here, they mention your favorite food, Pops, double dogs.
Oh yeah.
What are your thoughts, Pops?
You don't want double dogs?
Yeah.
Get back in there.
Well, okay. First, you know, he blew up in space, and you know, one day I guess we'll get parachutes or whatever jetpacks to land on surfaces like that when needed. But yeah, we will meet all types of people, and he just had a run-on sentence that just he was telling you every little thing about the Buccaneer, and yeah. And I remember Jared mentioning that he wanted a Frankenstein ship, and there it is. Had a whole bunch of parts from a whole bunch of other ships and things. And I'm not even going to discuss the inline. That was because we certainly don't want to see what. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I'm just gonna say it had a slow start for me, and until we meet the other guy, that the first couple of minutes, I thought it was kind of slow. I was like, okay, what's going on? I was honestly getting a little bit bored, but the last half, oh man, it more than made up for it. I mean, it made you wait for it basically. So yeah, it started slow, but that accent made me start laughing, and the double dog line. Because you know that's kind of an in joke here. Oh man, I can't wait to watch this one again. So yeah. This is by Wicked Wookie, so I'm gonna look for more stuff from them on soon. Hopefully they'll have more stuff. Girlfriend, yeah, make sure you list these as your favorite. Come back to later on. Oh my goodness, they're too funny. But yeah, that was buying a Drake buck from a scrapyard. Star Citizen Machinima. Wicked Wookie.
That was fun.
Oh man, too funny. Girlfriend, you wanted me to remind you about the Christmas with the Stars video? He may not be here, but hopefully, well, I'll start the end, and if not, he can come back and let us know. All right. So up next, we have. Nope. Okay. So up next we have. Oh yeah, Soul Talk. So, Saturday. Writing down, folks. So every Saturday we have podcast Saturday, or also known as podcast. We'll start with Soul Voices at 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UTC. We cover what's going on that week in Star Citizen, almost like Soul Citizen, but Star Citizen. But instead of coming in open form like we have here tonight on Soul Talk, it's more of a one-on-one conversation. We talk what's going on in Spectrum, what's going on in Reddit, and something going on in the industry in general. So that is Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UTC. Followed by that, we have the After Pub with Captain Table and Relay SC with Relay Station at 9 p.m. and 6 p.m. for the After Pub. After that, we have our show on Sunday, the Sunday show on January 29th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. UTC. Delivering the Good. Talk about cargo refactoring and what people think about that. So it should be a great show. We have our guest, Digital Master 137. I think I met them first through the Content Creator Summit, but I think Griffin had been following them before that. So yeah, come on over to Sunday show, 8 p.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. UTC. And with that, I want to thank everybody for joining us. We have Dark Knight, Face to Face, Hop and Face, thank you. And everyone in chat for hanging out, having some fun. Especially the correction about Rust. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Don't get us going on Rust again.
Don't get us going on Rust again. Oh, before I forget.
Rust.
Oh, what was that?
I just said next week, continuing on Rust Talk.
Good thing Admiral Kushinaga wasn't here. He go on and on about Rust. But I just want to say congrats to the winners of the Day My Rally. I forgot to mention that at the beginning of the show. And check out Flight to Rhythm on People Radio on a Twitter account. My show from Friday is up on Mixcloud. DK, when is your next show?
Soon.
With a TM?
Yes, with the TM.
Soon TM?
Yeah. Soon TM. I'm just so busy and stuff. It's hard to sit down and actually mix. So it's finding time.
But while I'm still wrapping up, Griffin, can you look up something to raid? Oh, you do have it. Okay, so we're going to be raiding Johansson Winter. Okay, cool. Thank you for that. So make sure you check out our social media. We're Soul Citizens with the S on the end everywhere. You can become a Soul Bro, Soul Sister, or Soulmate on YouTube. Membership has privilege. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, or follow depending on what platform you are. And yeah, you can buy merchandise. You can buy a t-shirt, cap, mug, what have you. And I think that's it. Yeah. So we'll be rating Johansson winners. Make sure you send them our love. And with that, I want to say peace, love, and soul.
Good night, everyone. 07.
Take care, everybody.
Good night.
I gotta make sure that there's raid